To meet everybody.
All right, good evening. I call this meeting of the South Washington County Telecommunications Commission to order. As previously noticed, this meeting is being conducted both in person and through interactive technology pursuant to Minnesota Statute Section 13D.021. On August 18th, 2021, Mark Martinez, Executive Director, issued a written determination that the Commission's in-person meetings and meetings conducted through Minnesota Statute Section 13D.02 are not practical or prudent because of the ongoing COVID-19 health pandemic, particularly now due to the Omicron variant of the virus. This meeting is being conducted through interactive technology. All commissioners can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony, and all votes will be conducted by roll call. Members of the public were invited to participate in this meeting by either showing up in person or attending through Zoom or calling into the telephone number, which is listed on the website, which is 312-626-6799. Mr. Executive Director, would you conduct the roll call?
Yes, Chair. Chair James.
Here.
Councilmember Date.
Here.
Commissioner Rom.
Here.
Councilmember Engelmann.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Thiede.
Here.
Commissioner Downs.
Here.
Commissioner Talby.
Here.
Those are our voting members tonight. We also have alternate Commissioner Randy Olson.
Here.
Attorney Bradley.
Here.
All right, so we have quorum to conduct tonight's meeting then.
That's correct.
Thank you. All right, be looking for a motion and second for the approval of tonight's agenda.
Move the
We
agenda.
approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second. Engelmann.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Should we do a roll call?
James.
Aye.
Date.
Aye.
Rom.
Aye.
Engelmann.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Thiede.
Aye.
Downs.
Aye.
Talby.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you. All right, next we'll be looking for any public comment. Seeing that there's no one in person, I'm guessing there's no one online or any pre-sent comments?
No comments this
All right.
evening, Chair.
Okay. All right, moving on then, consent agenda. We've got 4 items on there. I'll be looking for a motion and a second to just approve the 4 items on the consent agenda.
Move consent.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Mark, would you go ahead and conduct the roll for that?
Yes. James.
Aye.
Date.
Aye.
Rom.
Aye.
Engelmann. Olson.
Aye.
Thiede.
Aye.
Downs.
Aye.
Talby.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very good. All right, now to the heart of the meeting. Let's go through our reports for the night. We'll start with our Executive Director report. Mark?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Punch this in here. Share it with the viewers this evening. Welcome, everybody, 2022. And we have a lot planned for this year. This January report, is our work plan for the year. We have capital projects scheduled through the first quarter of this year and various maintenance projects that will be ongoing throughout the year. It's kind of a lighter year for the member cities in terms of capital projects. Other than the implementation, integration of the AV equipment at the city of Newport, and also upgrades at the commission office that are planned. We anticipate those will be completed at the commission office in Q1, and there's been some delay at the city of Newport due to some construction timelines, but those should be completed by the middle of the year. I have scheduled our financial audit for the week of April 11th. and I anticipate having the annual report completed to present to the joint council meeting on March 30th. I'd like to update that the franchise renewal is in progress. Still a lengthy progress, as we know. However, we have made some revisions recently that we're hoping to present to Comcast soon. Strategic plan implementation, and we reached a number of our goals last year. We reviewed a number of them at our last meeting in December. We're continuing on, again, with the annual report and ROV. We're adding the two major components of community engagement and diversifying our revenue. We did bring in approximately $20,000 of revenue over the last few months of outside work. So that's was really above expectation as to where we landed with that. A lot of that was word of mouth referral work that we received. So that was really great. It did impact our overall productions a little bit as we had to make time to complete those. But for the most part, our production team really worked very hard this year to get all of it done. Considering we were down a government producer for most of the year, they really stepped up to the plate to deliver. Moving on to our committee work, we'll be reviewing some of the policies, including the flexible workplace policy at our next workshop meeting in February, finalizing those policies as I received quite a bit of feedback on that policy and financial policies. And those will be presented to the commission in March. We have the Community Voices grant that we'll be working on this spring, and we're putting together the marketing materials for that as we speak. That's a really exciting program. The staff is very excited about this pilot program, and yeah, we hope the applicants, we hope we receive a number of applicants, and that it's a hugely successful program, because we think we would like to continue doing it in the future. As I mentioned in December, we are on pause with educational programming as I work with the school district to determine more about their needs and how we can be of value to what they're doing there. We did partner with the schools recently, as this week. You may have caught some of the hockey classic that we produced on Tuesday night, which was a very successful event. That is, if you don't know, that is a one-time event that we put a lot of resources and planning into to make a big deal and showcase some crosstown rivalries in the cities. The production value is really high because we're able to bring in other community media partners that have really developed remote truck capabilities and camera capabilities. It really has that professional hockey look to it and feel, with announcers and everything. So we're calling it the SWCTC Hockey Classic. And so as we do that ongoing with the commission's approval, we would like to add some really nice components to it, like a trophy to that program, and then also, or that game, and an awards portion of the game after the presentation of the award. It's a great opportunity also too to sell sponsorship, so we're hoping to also do that, create some revenue with local businesses. This year we showcased a lot of our PSAs and a lot of the work that we do so folks can hopefully get a better understanding of who we are as well. But yeah, I think Lonnie was very instrumental in making that happen, which was at the Healthy Center this year. I'm continuing on with our industry trade associations, stepping down slightly from president to vice president for this year with MACTA, and joining the Alliance for Community Media organization, the national board. So at the bottom here is an ongoing list of recommendations and direction that the commission would have for myself and staff. And part of that we discussed was looking at our attorney retainer potential and RFPs for audit firms down the road. Rebranding is something that we would like to do as we've gone through the strategic planning process. We really see the need to rebrand, potentially a new name and new logo for later this year and early next year. That's all I have for tonight, Chair. Happy to take any questions.
I have a question on the Community Voices grant. When do you think the grant application process will be live, out there? And would the cities promoting that as well, or making, doing our social media awareness of it with links to it be appropriate?
Yep, we're hoping to make that live link available on April 1st through June and award that grant in late July so that the production can be through, the 10-week program can start in August.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, Mark, I have a question too on that revenue the 20K revenue that you guys earned recently. Do you think that any of that stuff will be reoccurring, or is that just one-off type things, or do you think there might be follow-on work? Just kind of curious.
Oh, certainly with work we're doing with Renewal by Anderson and their studio rental is ongoing through this year. We're contracted with them through the end of this year. And we are, it's hard to say about we're trying to develop that relationship with Washington County. We want to be their premier video provider.
Okay.
And I think it's a potential, but definitely with Renewal by Anderson. So.
I think it's a very good job reaching out and getting those businesses and being their provider. I think it's really good.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
Mr. Chair, could I ask a question before?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yes. Mark, thanks very much for the report. Good information there. I did enjoy the hockey broadcast, and I know that's one of those things that's evolving. So every year you add some things to it, and it seems like a pretty special opportunity. I'm wondering if, in keeping with the conversation that we had a couple months ago about trying to get more connected to the schools, maybe doing some internships, things of that nature, is this an opportunity to potentially expand the footprint to not just include hockey, but maybe on occasion some other sports on, key nights, whatever the case might be, and get those young people involved in helping with the production so that they can get some valuable experience? I'm just wondering if that's been discussed or, bandied about at the office.
We've discussed it in context of looking at other commissions in the metro, and that's what they do. They have volunteer staff that really help produce those events. Some other organizations carry the whole season, for example, of multiple sports. And so that's something that they've worked on for many years. And since we don't have that infrastructure, we've talked about, well, what can we bring in? Where can we find those special games? Can we bring in the away games that are produced by other organizations? Certainly, it's an opportunity for students, for sure, on a volunteer basis. And as we grow in that direction, that's a possibility. As with volunteer help, it takes a dedicated approach. And some organizations, for example, have staff that are, it's a major part of their responsibility. We don't currently have that right now, but ongoing, it's something we can continually look at to see if that's what the commission would like us to focus on. And I know with our strategic planning, we've received a lot of feedback about that's something the commission would like to do, some of our other stakeholders would like to do. And so internally, and as we continue to talk about the plan and how to implement that, I think it's going to be unique for us because we don't have that legacy type infrastructure, like a mobile truck, for example, that would cost significant dollars. But the other flip side is that technology has really made it more accessible for us to do things remote. And Lonnie's been, for example, doing a lot of research on network IT-based video systems that really can be almost anywhere to produce. So there's a lot going on. We're doing a lot of research, and as this develops, we hope to continue.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Sounds great.
And I guess along those lines, one of the things we talked about at the last executive committee meeting is Commissioner Randy Olson took a position with South Washington County with Cottage Grove, I thought, with Parks. And Randy, can you give us just a quick update what your position was there and what your kind of thoughts of being able to make that connection with students that might be interested in doing something with us?
Okay, currently I teach 2 levels of photography, the intro and the advanced level of photography. So it's possible, we could look at some kind of partnerships, something working with those students that are at least in the 2nd level of photography. If they'd like the opportunity of working with that, I'd have to look through what some of the implications might be for the school district itself, but I'm definitely open to that if I'm able to work with the students to give them more experience in media.
Right. So we felt like we had an in with somebody now working with students that we'd have a channel, a conduit to get to them. So, yeah. Perfect.
Thank
So
you.
we'll keep that in the back burner of, and for future conversations then.
Yeah, please do.
Yes. All right. Any other questions on the executive director report? Hearing none, we can move on to the fourth quarter update of the treasurer's report. Mark.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start off by saying that in your packet, I've included the preliminary actuals for 2021. However, just take note that this document does not include the revenue from Q4. We have not received that as of yet from Comcast. But the expenses are up to date. I am expecting a few invoices to trickle in, but nothing major. And so some of the things to point out on the expense side is that we were under budget with our capital expenditures. And that was primarily due to the commission office continuing our research around a couple items such as the channel servers and the closed captioning, and making sure that we're getting appropriate bids for that. We started work on that about midway through the year and implemented a lot of the infrastructure improvements. However, we didn't get to some of them that will roll over into this year. Some of the other long-term equipment will probably roll over into 2023 as well. I am anticipating that revenue will be greater than expected. And so what I'd like to share with you with regards to this for the year is that I am anticipating a return to the cities of approximately $225,000 or so. And additionally, the 81,000 that we received with the Comcast franchise fee audit that we concluded at the end of 2020. So in all, the return will probably be around 300,000 or so.
Sure. So how much more revenue are we expecting to see this year?
About 5% above
No, but what's the dollar amount?
1.7.
No, I mean the additional.
Oh, I'm
How
sorry.
much more
Fourth
money
quarter?
are we?
Oh, okay. Q4 will be approximately 400,000, 450.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit here with the draft for the return to cities, so. All right. Any other treasurer update questions? All right, hearing none, we can move on to our legal report. Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Good evening. I'm sad to report I have a pretty short report this evening, so I know you'll be disappointed in that. Our case, City of Eugene versus FCC, as you know, has gone to the United States Supreme Court, and it'll be heard in conference in February. I think it's February 18th. So we'll know fairly soon if the Supreme Court will actually undertake that case up for review. So look for future updates as we go on at the Executive Committee and full commission meeting next in 2 months' time. And then the only other item I wanted to mention was that the FCC chairwoman, Rosenworcel, was confirmed in December. And but the other nominee for the FCC was not confirmed in December, and she was re-nominated at the beginning of January, and she will be getting another hearing here just shortly. That was announced, I think, just earlier today. So right now, we still have a 2-2 FCC. So that doesn't result in a lot of production out of your FCC. So stay tuned for updates on that as well. But as always, I'm open to any questions. Oh, one thing, Mark, did you want to talk about bylaws at all? Was that not at this meeting? Mm-mm. Not next meeting. Okay, very good.
Oh.
Happy to answer questions, though.
With regards to we will actually, at the officer election coming up in the agenda.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we'll be moving to shortly.
Just giving you a sneak peek, we're looking at a possible bylaw amendment. That's all I just wanted
Okay.
to see if Mark wanted me to bring that up during the legal.
Right.
Thank you, Chair.
Yep, and Mark did share your legal report that you had sent out, so we've all had a chance to see that as well, so. Any questions for our legal counsel? All right. If not, we can move on to unfinished business, which is officer elections. So, we have a action in front of us to vote on tonight, which is basically, the nominating committee has kind of kept the officers in place that were in place for 2021. Obviously, any adjustments can be, additional nominations can be made at this point in time, so I'll open the floor to any either questioning or additional nominations.
I'll move to approve the current slate of officers.
I'll second the
Okay.
Tingelman.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the current slate. I guess we'll do a roll call on that.
With discussion, Mr. Chair.
Oh, you have some discussion? Okay.
Yep, I'd like to add that Council Bradley was referring to the Executive Committee's request to extend officer
Terms?
yes, thank you.
Yep.
From 1 year to 2 years. And, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
So in our bylaws, we have annual terms. So our officers are elected every year at the, at the annual meeting, which is basically this meeting. And And then there's a term limit as far as how long you can serve in a particular officer position, and that's 2 terms. The annual voting requirement is contained in the joint powers agreement, as well as your bylaws. So that's something that we can't change in the bylaws, is the annual voting requirement. The term limit is not something that's required by your joint powers agreement. So you could change how long someone can serve as chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary. So, so I think at the executive committee, and I don't think I was at that executive committee meeting, but the way I understood it is we were looking at possibly looking at 2-year terms. So we can't do that, but you could increase the term limit from 2, and you could make it 4. And I think essentially that's the same result. You just have to have an election every year still. So that's my update on possible bylaw amendments.
Comments at that time were just that, 1-year term just felt like you're barely getting your feet underneath you, and all of a sudden now you could be, changing positions and stuff. So we just felt like having 2 years was a good term. But if that can't be changed, I'm not sure if that's what the general consensus is, that we want to change it to a 4-year limit or not, so.
Yeah, and Chair, too, it can be changed, but it can't be changed by this body. It has to be a joint powers agreement change. So you would vote on a change to the joint powers agreement, then you would send it back to all
Back to the
the member
councils
cities,
then.
yeah,
Okay, all right,
which I don't really recommend.
yeah.
So just a quick lawyer question, which is, so the current status is you can have 2 terms in a row, right? But that doesn't mean you can't have 2 terms for your lifetime, right? It's
Correct.
just 2 terms in a row.
Yep,
So if you had one, took a year off,
You
you
could
could
come
then
back.
take 2 more if you wanted, right?
Yes.
So as long as you're just not doing it more than 2 in a row.
right,
But again, you can cycle through as many times as you want, so.
Right.
I just want to make sure that.
no, that's
we're clear on
absolutely
that.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. All right.
Are you looking?
Yeah, this is Tracy. I'd like to comment on that too. I mean, again, a lot of the member cities like Newport, we elect our officers and commission members on an annual cycle. So I think we should have the annual election as we're continuing because of that, and things change. And also too, I'm more for the annual cycle too I'm okay with term limits or increasing those, but I would like, again, everyone to be an opportunity to rotate through these, if they so want to, rotate through these different, commission, members and directors and those type of things, so they get experience and we kind of have a pipeline of people coming up in the ranks or so. So, and my thing is, after 2 years or so for myself in a certain secretary position, I'm willing to relinquish that to anyone else who wants to do that. If that's if anyone wants to do that, those things. So just want to make those comments with everyone.
No, I don't think any change need to be made then. It was just, it didn't make sense to me to just be in the chair position for 1 year and then to step down and have somebody else take on, when I was just feeling like, oh, I'm just getting comfortable being the chair,
Right,
So,
and I agree with that, that kind of stuff. But again, we just elect you the same time, the next year or
yep.
something.
No, it's working. It's working the way it's intended, I guess. So, yeah.
Are you interested in having a bylaw change? Then we'll bring that forward at the executive committee
To 4-year term?
for your term limit versus
No,
2.
I think a 2-year term is fine. I don't have any issue with that.
Term limit.
Yeah, the term limit, yes, yeah. Okay. No, but you weren't at the meeting, and that was just us talking amongst ourselves, saying, oh, could we make this change? It seemed logical, but then, there's always the legal side of things, which doesn't always be logical, so.
Yeah, and it did seem logical, and I just thought, well, before I write that, I better look at the joint powers agreement.
Okay,
And
that makes total
I was
sense.
like, oh, okay, well, we can't do that. Yeah.
All right. So if we're good with what the nominating committee has put forth, and everybody, we have a motion and a second, so I think we're ready to do the roll call on that then.
Yes. James.
Aye.
Rom.
Aye.
Date.
Aye.
Ingeman.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Didi.
Aye.
Downs.
Aye.
Talby.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Andrea and Tracy. You get to do your job for another year, so. All right.
Hooray.
Moving on to new business. We have before us the estimated 2021 net revenue distribution, which, to be honest, when I first read this, I thought that we'd be voting on the actual passage of this, but now understanding that this is an estimate, these are not actual hard dollars, these are just Mark's estimate of using kind of like fourth quarter of 2020 as kind of a replication of that.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, so, so this is just a, I guess, a heads up for all of us of, kind of being able to give any feedback. I don't know if it's worth providing any information back to your city, your cities, I guess, at this point until it's finalized, but it will be finalized within the next month is what you're guesstimating, right?
That's correct. yeah.
Okay, all right.
I did want to offer another solution too for tonight is if you wanted to work with a more rounded number, for example, a 300,000 flat number that you could work with tonight. That's something we've done in the past is round it to 300,000 before.
Be honest, I'm fine with waiting. I mean, there's no urgency to this. We're in the budget year, so I'm fine with waiting until the actual dollars are figured out,
Okay.
unless anyone else has any other suggestion. Okay. So as your note here says, there's really no action, we're not looking to vote on anything here, so, all right,
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
I did want to propose that option to the commission though,
okay,
for your
Yeah.
consideration.
this is fine. Okay. All right, then the last option here is commission comments and requests. Any commissioner have any additional comments or requests that you haven't said to this point?
I'd like to thank whoever worked their magic down in Great Cloud Island. The quality and the ability to actually hear and see what's going on at their meetings has been, it's quite nice to see and hear what's going on. So thank you, Lonnie, and everybody else for really making what I'd say is a very significant increase in the quality of the product that's coming out of there.
Commission, yeah, you're more than welcome. It actually went back to the old school way. We just send a person down with a high definition camera now. And we record it and then edit it back at the station and then upload it. So it looks, it looks way better than it did before. So we're getting there. We're slowly working on ways to make that a little bit more,
19th century?
yeah, well, I guess the goal would be to try to do it more of a live program like we do here.
Yeah.
We just don't have the infrastructure there to do that right now.
No, I got you.
So, in the meantime, we'll send a camera and we'll do it the way we're doing it.
No, like I said, whatever you're doing, it's fantastic.
I'm glad.
It's
Good.
nice, and again, it's just a better experience as the consumer. So thank you.
Sure, and that's our ultimate goal, right? Just to make everybody watch, so. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else, either online or in person, any other comments? If not, I will be looking for a motion in a second for adjournment of the meeting then.
Move to adjourn.
I will second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
James,
Aye.
Date,
Hi.
Rom,
Aye.
Ingeman,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Beatty,
Aye.
Downs,
Aye.
Talby.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.